A conscious dependence on God's provision and respect for His designs for society will bless the faithful.
When we look, for instance, at a situation that happened with the Pilgrims when they first arrived in America, they encountered a crisis in economic hardship. It was an agrarian society they had set up on that beachhead, if you will, and they very quickly learned that economics is related to a dependency upon the author, upon God. And so I just want to kind of preface a few things here. The Bible is clear that we should be engaged as a lifestyle of praying without ceasing, very simply because God, whether we like it or not, has put us in a position of dependency. So that dependency that we're in is expressed through prayer, and prayer is simply faith breathing, inhaling, exhaling. We're talking to our author, to our creator, our redeemer. And so in our environment, from the day of our birth, none of us could survive without the help of someone else. So our environment, we need food, we need shelter, we need good weather, we need relationships, we need to work together. A state of dependency upon the created order is the reality that we all face. But there is something that goes beyond, that transcends just dependency upon our environment and each other. And that dependency is especially in relationship to the Creator. And so in the first American experiment, this lesson was learned very quickly by our ancestors. Governor Bradford, who was involved in the arrival of the Pilgrims, they came to a critical point where literally that first year was so hard that people were starving. And so he finally got together with them and he said, listen, we've got to, quote, rest on God's providence, the need to pray that God would give them their daily bread, end of quote. In other words, he recognized not only are we experiencing a failure in our economy, we need food, he was recognizing that we cannot forget that it is only God who can show up in this created order and make a way for us to be able to survive, to get bread. And so without prayer, he recognized that an economic system, though it was looks infantile and very small, was critical. You know, we should never forget the day of small beginnings. That everything that we've ever known in any endeavor involving humans has always started somewhere small. And so when they began to cry out to God, something else also happened. Not only did they exercise prayer, but there was a better strategy. They originally had decided on kind of a socialist way of doing their farming and living as a community where everybody shared and people were unmotivated.
So far, we have explored God's original economic intent, witnessed the disruption of that plan, and the adverse consequences of allowing subversion to steer things away from His design.